What secrets do prison guards keep hidden from the world? In this shocking revelation, we're about to uncover the darkest secrets that prison guards don't want you to know. From corruption to cover-ups, we're diving deep into the unseen world of prison life. Get ready to have your mind blown by the most unbelievable stories of prison guards gone rogue. What if the people who are supposed to enforce the law are the ones breaking it?
The Fulton County Sheriff's Office says it turns out 4 security officers working for a contractor at the county jail were security problems. Records suggest Breasha Tate admitted using a book to hide phones. Allegedly confessed to smuggling in cell phones in a cutout inside a book?
Yes.
Now one might say that Fulton County Sheriff's Office is throwing the book at her. After a corruption investigation, we counted 10 criminal warrants naming her. Records indicate after she reported to work Tuesday, she was transported to the Jail Investigations Unit's office, and that Ms. Tate stated she had sexual intercourse with an inmate inside of the bathroom in the tower on floor 7 South on 3 separate occasions. That Ms. Tate stated she brought a total of 6 cell phones inside of the jail and gave them to the inmate. That Ms. Tate stated she cut portions of the pages of the inside of a book and concealed the phones inside of the hole in the book. That Ms. Tate stated she brought strips, paper laced with chemicals used for smoking, inside of the jail on 2 separate occasions. That Ms. Tate stated she received payments from the inmate via Cash App for the contraband items she brought in and gave to him, and that her Cash App payment summary from the inmate showed a total of $1,682.
We can't screen for integrity.
Natalie Ammons of the Sheriff's Office says terminated security officer Regina Harris faces 3 warrants related to a contraband cell phone provided to an inmate. Ms. Ammons says terminated security officer Lacuna Ballard is accused of sending explicit photos and videos to an inmate, plus a couple of conspiracy charges involving conversations about how to bring cigarettes and cell phones into the jail. And Ms. Ammons says terminated security officer Anisia Silas faces a conspiracy charge involving a phone charger and a charge involving giving an inmate unauthorized food, namely a chicken pot pie.
Inside prisons, hidden from the public, dark secrets often grow. Prison guards who should keep order sometimes crack under pressure. They get caught up in corruption, violence, and hopelessness. This is about the secrets prison guards hide. It's about how the system can corrupt even good people. A system that needs our attention. A system that needs to change. Prison guards are the hidden workers in the justice system. They keep everyone safe, including the prisoners. Their job is very stressful. They deal with danger every day. Prisoners can be angry and unpredictable. Violence is always a risk. The job is mentally exhausting. They see the worst of humanity every day. They see violence, poverty, and sadness up close. This can lead to serious mental health problems.
And we have the highest correction officer suicide rate in the country.
Senator James Eldridge says those alarming facts prompted him to file legislation to set up a special commission to study the problem inside the walls of our state prison.
I think, unfortunately, the Department of Corrections has long had a culture of silence and not admitting the problems that are going on within the walls of our state prisons.
The senator represents the district that includes the Sousa Baranowski Correctional Center, where corrections officers Nate Beauvais and Ben McGinnis were violently attacked by inmates. Since that day, both COs have been out of work, suffering from physical injuries, depression, stress, and lack of department support. All common issues facing many men and women working here that have led to an increase in the number of correction officer suicides. 5 investigators discovered 14 have taken their own lives in the past 5.5 years.
What needs to change, Ben?
The whole system. They need to pay attention to what's going on and be a little more proactive.
I think that really needs to change, to acknowledge that there is a problem and then to take the necessary steps to improve the conditions and better support the correction officers.
People often see prison guards in a simple way. They are either strict rule enforcers or mean bullies who misuse their power. But it's more complicated than that. Prison guards are just people. They deal with tough choices and a lot of stress. Many start the job wanting to help. They really want to make a positive impact. They often find it hard to balance being strict and being kind. In prisons, guards have a lot of power over inmates. They control almost everything the inmates do. This power can be very tempting. It can make guards feel superior and distant. Some guards might misuse their power.
A corrections officer from West Bend is accused of sexually assaulting an inmate at the Kettle Moraine Correctional Institution. Katie Moon is charged with a felony after an inmate witnessed her performing sexual acts on another inmate. The complaint says she didn't report the incident because she was scared.
This can cause serious harm to inmates. Inmates can get hurt physically or mentally. The whole prison can become more dangerous. Sometimes prison guards go from being protectors to becoming criminals. They might smuggle illegal items, help with drug deals, or even get involved in fights with inmates.
We have just gotten video of a guy accused of killing 5 people, attacking a jail guard, and then trying to escape. Take a look at this. Surveillance video from New Mexico. The suspect here tricking a guard and locking him in his cell. He then jumps out, attacks a second guard with a large flashlight. The 2 men you see here fighting and struggling until more guards are able to get in and bring help. They were able to strap that suspect to a chair. Officials say this is actually the second time he's tried to escape, so the sheriff's office plans on moving him to a jail for high-risk inmates. Probably a good idea.
These actions damage the justice system. They make people lose trust and lead to more corruption. Chapter 6. The walls close in. There was a prison guard named Sonia Newton. She worked at LaPorte County Jail and was very strict, but she had a dark secret. Sonia was smuggling drugs into the prison. This led to serious problems. 1 inmate overdosed and died. The news shocked everyone. It showed how prisons can be corrupted and the terrible results of it. Section 7. A system rife with corruption. Corrupt prison guards aren't rare.
There is growing outrage today over the death of an inmate in a New York State prison who was brutally beaten by more than a dozen correction officers. Detainee advocates are concerned it's part of a larger culture of violence within the state's correctional system. Laura Barone-Lopez has our look and a warning to our viewers. The video, which we will show only in part, is very disturbing.
Body cam footage shows Robert Brooks repeatedly kicked, punched, and choked after arriving at the Marcy Correctional Facility on December 9th. Brooks had been serving a 12-year sentence for an assault in 2017. It is unclear why he was transferred to the Central New York prison. At one point, one officer yanks him by the neck and drops his semi-conscious body on an examination table. The beating lasted roughly 20 minutes. Brooks died the following morning. In a statement, an attorney for the Brooks family said, Mr. Brooks was fatally, violently beaten by a group of officers whose job was to keep him safe. He deserved to live. New York Governor Kathy Hochul has requested the termination of 13 guards and 1 nurse implicated in the assault. After visiting the facility where Brooks was beaten, Governor Hochul released a statement yesterday, saying in part, "The system failed Mr. Brooks, and I will not be satisfied until there has been significant culture change." In the aftermath of Brooks's death, community leaders and activists are calling for justice and reform.
Just because individuals are incarcerated doesn't mean that they give up their rights to be human beings.
A 2023 investigation by the Marshall Project in the New York Times found that from 2010 to 2022, New York's Department of Corrections filed 5,642 disciplinary cases against prison staff, but only succeeded in firing 28 officers. 3 of the guards involved in the assault against Brooks were previously accused of beating inmates in a similar manner. As of today, none of the 14 employees implicated have been charged with wrongdoing. But New York State Attorney General Letitia James promised a full investigation.
Because I have a responsibility and duty to provide the Brooks family, their loved ones, and all New Yorkers with transparency and accountability.
They show a broken system. Not enough staff, poor training, and no proper checks make it easy for corruption to grow. When guards break the law, it weakens our society. It destroys trust and leads to more violence and sadness. Section 8. Justice. not just punishment. Prisons should help people get better, not just punish them. We need to treat inmates with kindness and respect and give them chances to learn and grow. This means changing how we think about people in prison. They aren't just criminals to lock up. They are people who deserve kindness and a second chance. Chapter 9. Unlocking the Truth. The hidden actions of prison guards show how complicated the justice system is. We need to expose these problems and ask for improvements. We must hold leaders responsible and push for real changes. It's time to stop being quiet. It's time to take action. Let's work together to make the system fairer for everyone.